Why does Israel win all wars? This is a question that I chanced upon a few days ago on an article, and it's had me thinking because in the last few weeks, Israel has done the unbelievable. It has successfully taken out people in Yemen, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iran, and now in Qatar. And I think it's wonderful and amazing to know that there is no place in the world the enemies of Israel can hide. They just can't. But the question, why Israel has won all the wars, actually doesn't come down to its amazing military achievements or its Mossad or its intelligence abilities and everything, its precision and its planning and its focus on its military. It's actually nothing to do with that. It's something much, much deeper and intrinsic to our Bible and to our roots and to who we are. You see, there is kind of a misconception that the war in Israel started on October 7th. This is wrong. Since 1948, Israel has basically been in one long war with different people and different players and different leaders and different things going on. Sometimes it's been more intense and sometimes it's been less intense. But basically, since the beginning of the state of Israel, since this country was recognized as a Jewish state, even though obviously biblically this has been our country for forever, but the state was recognized, all of our Arab enemies have just not liked that very much. And they have tried in different ways to attack us externally and internally. Now, I will say, this has been an exceptional escalation that countries really far off, like Yemen and Iran, have also been targeting and attacking us. But mainly, our borders have constantly been in conflict, specifically internally. I mean, terrorist attacks have been a norm here since I can remember. And with the exception of some big, big wins like the 6-Day War or the Yom Kippur War, which unfortunately wasn't really a win, I don't think Israelis look and feel like we've ever won. Because there is never a proper ending to anything. It's always kind of just ongoing. There's an operation, there's a mission, there's a this, there's a that, there's another terror attack, it gets worse, it flares up, it shuts down. I can't remember a summer since I was born, really, that there wasn't some sort of escalation here in Israel. And so when I was reading this, like anti-Semite say, how come Israel wins all wars? What is up with this country? It made me realize that they just have no understanding of us at all. They don't understand what it is to be persecuted. Now, I'm not coming at this from a victim mentality. I think the Jewish people and the Israelis are freaking amazing. And I don't feel like a victim one bit. But I will say, the whole concept of anti-fragility, if you let something not get any exposure to negativity, it just becomes weak. That's definitely true of the Israeli people. We are constantly in a state of being tested. Our resilience is constantly being tested because we actually are losing people left, right, and center. And here's the interesting thing. It feels in Israel oftentimes that we're always losing because every person that dies, every person that's killed is an enormous loss to us. And this is where we differ from other states or other countries, Gaza, who see actually the more death as something that's valuable to them because they can create more propaganda, they can make more money, they can make Israel more of an enemy. But to us, every person that's lost is enormous. It's huge. And so it never really feels like there's a win because we're never actually winning. We're constantly up against our enemies. But that in turn makes us capable of handling really, really complicated things. And that's something that I don't know that I would give up, not as a state, not as a society. Obviously, I would love to see peace. Every Jew wants peace. But at the same time, there's an understanding of the fact that there's this video. Let's pull back for a second. There's this video that I watched, and I should bring it here, of this woman. And she's saying, she's an Arab Palestinian, and she said, there is no greater statement out there in the entire world than the statement of Golda Meir, who said, there will be peace when the Palestinians love their children more than they hate the Jews. This is something that people don't realize. Israel has never initiated any of our wars. We don't start any conflict. It is really just not the way we roll. We are constantly under threat. Constantly. And the second any of our guard goes down a little bit, they come in and they attack because they're just looking for the smallest chink in the armor. And that's the reality of why we're always winning this war. We have no other chance. We have no other option. We have nowhere else to go. That's the other famous statement from Golda Meir, who says, you don't understand. We can't lose this war. There is nowhere else for the Jewish people to be. We're not going back to Europe. Yes, a lot of us live in America, but it's becoming clearer and clearer and clearer to us that If we don't have Israel, if we don't have this haven, this place for us to stay safe, there is no chance left for us. The world hates us, the people hate us, and again, I'm not a victim. Hate away. That's your problem. It is just really not my problem. But that's the real reason why Israel wins all the wars. It's because, first of all, we're always in a state of war. There is never any resounding win or resounding loss. We are constantly being attacked and targeted. Always. No matter what. It's always happening. But we are so resilient because we have no other chance. We have no other option. And we know what we believe in. We know how important this land is. We know how important family is. And we have our values so clear, so straight, so just obvious to us that we're just not going to let that go very easily. And so, yes, we've come up with some really, really sophisticated ways to come after our enemies. And I'm loving the shift out of this kind of defense mechanism and into offense. We have Hamas leadership in Qatar. We're going to go after them. And you're just going to have to suck that up. If you've buddied up with the wrong system, you're just going to have to suck that up. But Israel being perceived as somebody who never loses is so different to how Israelis feel, because we feel like we lose all the time. Every person, every tragedy, it's a loss. And it's time for the tables to turn. And that's really what this war is so different, and why this war is so amazing, and why, even though I read all these horrible things on Twitter about, oh, look, Israel's going after every other country, it's not like that. Every single one of those countries started up with us, and we're just starting to actually have the backbone to say enough is enough. And I absolutely love my country for that.